all intents and purposes, this should just lift out. As easy as that. So far, so good. That hasn't taken me long. You can just simply pop them in there. Whoa. This is the ASure stereo. I've got my phone connected. If you press DSP, got yourself a lovely little graphic equalizer. There's all sorts of presets you can play around, and you can see that I'm picking up all these satellites, so that's working an absolute treat. Looks like it was always supposed to be there. So when I press the volume button, ta-da! Beautiful, beautiful. So those who've been following my channel, you would have seen I've done a Mercedes SL install for the incredible ASure stereo. Today I'm in a far more, let's just say, common Mercedes. This is the Mercedes A-Class. It's a W169, and I've got an incredible ASure stereo that's going to completely change the driving experience. It's going to give you everything, your Bluetooth streaming, it's going to give you your maps, your Android Auto or your Apple CarPlay, you're going to have USB connectivity, you're going to be able to download apps, it's going to have it all. Enough talk, let's get the box open. I've already taken all of the cables out so you can see exactly what you get, and all the details are sitting down below in the description. So have a look at this. It comes with a little reversing camera. Here you got yourself a DAB transmitter receiver, and here a nice clear visual instruction manual. Let's have a look at the harnesses. Now I've removed them from the packaging so you can actually see what you get. So you got some simple ISO connections. These are going to plug into the existing female connection for your car. This is a little CAN bus box. That's going to be able to talk to the steering wheel buttons, and we'll do some programming to make sure that that works with the volume control, etc. You've got audio inputs. This is for a microphone, because yes, it does come with a microphone for hands-free. And this is the bezel, which is going to then go around the edge of the radio. And let's have a look at the main events. Here it is. This is the ASure radio for your Mercedes A-Class W169. What I like about the ASure is that all of the plugs at the back, you don't need to worry too much about understanding what goes where, because they only go one way. It's been designed that way so you don't make any mistakes. And this surround here, this is going to sit on top there and just finish the look off just like that. So, enough talk, let's get the existing radio out and see how it looks and how easy it is to do. I haven't done this before, but it looks to be pretty straightforward. I'm not at my normal place with my normal tools in my garage, but it doesn't matter, you use what you've got. I've got some screwdrivers, I've got a torch, I've got a little pry tool. I don't think you need very much. So let's get this off. Now, first of all, we're going to start with taking the vents off at the top here. You can just use something like a long screwdriver, and there's a couple of little indents that you push, and it should be able to then pull this whole fascia off. So let's do that. Got a little flathead screwdriver here, and it's just inside about a quarter of the way up. Get my torch out. It's just in the second vent down, and just sort of push it in. That's that side. And that's that side as well. There you go. Let's undo the hazard cable harness. Right, that was easy. So straight away I can see that on the top here, there's a couple of star screws, and there's probably going to be two more down here. So I'm now going to get my little pry tool out. As I said, I like doing these videos because sometimes you haven't always got all the tools at hand, and you've got to use what you've got. Probably could have used a credit card, to be fair. Oh, there we are. Good. I'll just leave that attached and I'll pop that down there for the moment. Yep, and there's a couple more screws here. Now, they are little star screws, so if you haven't got a star set, then what you can do is sometimes, if you're lucky and you've got a small flathead screwdriver, don't go chewing the ends up, it'll fit just in the grooves there. See if we're lucky. Oh, just spot on there. And now you can undo these just with a regular screwdriver. You know, after all, sometimes when you look at doing these types of jobs and you think, right, I'm going to buy the socket set and I'm going to buy the special tools with the special star bits and all the rest. By the time you buy it all, you might as well have paid somebody to install it for you. So that's why I like to sort of think about it and try and use what you've got. Save you guys some time and money as well. All right, so that's the 4 screws. Let's put those there. Now, all intents and purposes, this should just lift out. As easy as that. As easy as that. Right, there's going to be a cable harness at the back. So this lever, it just pops up like so, like that. And then this here is the aerial. There's a little pin that you just push in, and there you go. And that is it. So far, so good. That hasn't taken me long. A couple of minutes to do that. Brilliant. Want to buy us radio for a W169 Mercedes A-Class? It's amazing when you think about it that it's got a CD player and everything else, but as much as it looks quite nice, it doesn't really function that well, especially in today's world. We've moved on so much now that we're so used to our touch screen and connectivity, hence why I've got this ASure to install. So straight away, let's have a look at this large plug. So this is obviously just come off the back of the radio. So let's get that. Now, it comes with two connections. One's going to be for probably a different type of radio. Different models of Mercedes A-Classes will have a different fit. And as I've got female here, then I'm going to use obviously the male connection. It's not that one because it doesn't fit. I can see it has to be this one here. And on these instruction manuals, what's really good, it actually gives you a list of every single type of connection and what they do. Audio right, audio left, microphone, subwoofer, it's all there. Saves all the guesswork. Right, let's plug that in. Let's see if that goes together nicely. Okay, and then pull the lever down and that locks it in place. So there's a connection here. It goes, to me, looks like it goes to the CAN bus box. This is probably going to be like a switch cable when you've got the ignition on. So let's plug that into this green connection here because it can only go in one way. And I can tidy up the slack wire. Okay, now what we're going to do is plug in the respective connections, get my glasses out, it's getting a bit dark, into the radio, into the ASure stereo. So the next step is just simply plug in the cables where you can. It's done in a poka-yoke fashion. That simply means it's a lean engineering methodology from Japan. It means you can't make a mistake. So they've engineered ASure this in a way that you can only plug in the cables that go into those particular slots. This is a standard aerial socket, but they gave you in the kit the adapter. So we could plug that in there, and then this is then going to plug into the Mercedes version of the aerial, and that connects like that. Easy peasy. Now, this is the microphone. So the microphone, I like to install that, maybe mounted up here somewhere, and then work your way through, back through the A-pillars and underneath the dash. And that will then plug into this harness here. What's that?
You got your car washed?
Nah, I just got a bit of rain on it.
Really?
Yeah.
That big bird-proof car?
Oh, yeah. No, I did actually. Yeah, I went through a automatic car wash, yeah. So that will push into there, and then that will go for your hands-free. And what's nice is that every single cable has been identified. Audio left, audio right, video out, subwoofer if you got one of those. So I'll leave the microphone plugged in at the moment, but let's plug in this back into the ASure. Goes into this main plug here. And we've got two more, which are the USBs. One is going to have more of a charging setup, and one is going to be for connectivity. It's amazing to think that this car didn't have any of that before. It was just a Bluetooth transmitter. And that's the two USBs in. So all the ports are now used up. All intents and purposes, we should be able to turn it on. So let's do that first before we start putting on any surrounds and things. What's really nice is that if you look at the existing radio, because it had the depth of that there, and I haven't got that now, I've got tons of space behind there to tuck the cables away. I did an install on a Fiat 500 and that was tight for space, but not on this occasion. I can just simply pop them in there. I'll make a nice job in a minute, but I just want to see if this turns on and all looks nice and pretty. Whoa. Right, bezel. It also comes with, in the kit, a little screwdriver and screws. Okay, but let's just offer that up and see. What a nice fit that is. That looks brilliant. I mean, obviously the vents are going to go back on, but wow. Welcome to 2025. Right, let's put some power on and see if it comes to life. Now, actually, there's that green cable. I wonder if I plugged it in the right way. Let's do that and see. There's this one here, because it could go both ways. I'm just wondering if that actually can only go one way. Let's unplug that. Silly me, I plugged in the harness, live video. I plugged in the harness that was not being used, and I should have plugged in the one that I am used, which is this one. So let's see. Well, I'm going to turn the key off just in case. Right. Let's try again. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now, yes, it's Android. If you've got an Apple phone, don't you worry. It's got the lesser phones for you boys out there with the Apple phones as well. It's going to have your Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. But it works. It's based on an Android system, but as I said, it's going to work across both phone systems, so don't worry about that. But how good does that look? When that goes back on there like that, it just looks like it came with the car. I love stuff. Oh, damn, look at that. Oofed. I mean, how good is that looking? That is superb. Right, let's put some sound on. Let's go for the radio and see if that works.
Everything.
I'm glad it's not music, otherwise YouTube give me a copyright strike.
Labour conference, says the wonderful Matt Chorley. Back on
It works, it works. Bit of classic music for you. Ta-da! Beautiful, beautiful. And there's going to be all the setup that you want. There's going to be different settings. You can have different wallpapers, different menus, however you want to do it. It's basically a tablet in your car now. Right, so let's, I can maybe get the microphones through. We could do that. And we could then tidy up the wires behind. And the DAB, well, that's going to go on the windscreen. I've also got a lovely reversing camera. That's going to come up in another install on this channel. Designed and dedicated for the ASure. So we've got a backup camera, so when you pop it in reverse, you'll be able to see that. So subscribe, and you'll get to see that install, which is coming up very soon. And then here is the DAB. The DAB has a little USB, which we've now got USB connectivity, and that obviously powers your antenna so that you can then get yourself DAB radio. So I'm using one of these little grabbers here. It's a nice little cubby hole, and you can just about get it through the back. And then inside here, I've got the other end of it now, and I'm going to grab my USB cable and pull that through. So in terms of the microphone, just have it mounted here actually on this A-pillar is quite nice. I think that's probably the neatest rather than up here. So and it's got a handy little clip. It's also got a little wind deflector on it as well. So that's what I'm going to run it down through here. Just take off this bit of trim. Let's see if I can push this all the way through with my little grabber tool. Aha! One microphone end, beautiful. Looks like it was always supposed to be there. GPS antenna. Importantly, on the back there's these two little plastic trims that come with the surround, and it stops the screen from moving. So you just put the screws in there. It's pretty self-explanatory. Getting a bit dark. Tomorrow morning I will show you exactly what this looks like, but in all intents and purposes it's pretty much installed. So I'll see you in the morning. Welcome back. It's daylight. I can see what I'm doing, and I thought, you've seen it at night time, how gorgeous it looked. This is the ASure stereo in the daytime, and I've been playing around with a few of the features. I've got my phone connected We've got the maps playing there, and there's all sorts of things you can do with this. There's all sorts of apps you can download. So just like any tablet, you can put widgets on the screen, you can lay things out how you are. So straight away on the left hand side there, you've got radio function, comes to life, connect with Apple or the Android, CarPlay, etc. If I go back to the main page here, you've got your Bluetooth set up along the top there. You simply go in and it will give you the name. You can change that name so you can find it easy on your phone. Likewise, you press the little round icon there, you've got all your apps, you scroll to the side. So once you've got your phone connected, you can then hotspot your device directly to your mobile phone. If you press DSP, got yourself a lovely little graphic equalizer. There's all sorts of presets. You can play around, have it sounding just as you wish. And by the way, the sound on this I found is far superior to the standard Mercedes stock system. This is a nice one here. This is Toolbox, and you can check things like your GPS monitor. Now I got that stored up on the window, and you can see that I'm picking up all these satellites, so that's working an absolute treat. And if it wasn't working, then when I go back to the home page, I wouldn't have a location where the map is. As you can see, I've taken the stereo out once more. Had a bit of problem trying to get the steering wheel buttons to work, but I got there, and that's why I like doing these videos. I could have edited all this out and say, right, here's how you do the steering wheel buttons, but it's taken me about half an hour. And guess what? I had to read the instructions. Right, this is how you set the steering wheel buttons. And watch what happens now. So when I press the volume button, ta-da! We've got everything working. Press the phone button, goes to the phone. We're all good in the hood. Right, so there's one piece of paper that came with it. And it took me a little while to understand what this was going on here. The little illustration of what the CAN bus box looks like, and I thought it was this one, High World, but it wasn't. It was this one here, the Lucene one. And you just look at the shape of the CAN bus box. So to give you an idea, this is why I took the radio out once more. It was on the back. This is your CAN bus box, and that there is the shape that I was trying to find on the image, that one there. Right, so now I know the name of the CAN bus box. Let's pop this back on again. Luckily, it's actually really easy to take out. I only have to do the top panel, the bottom panel, and 4 screws, so it wasn't so much of a troublesome job, that. Right, let's go back. This is how you do the steering wheel button, so you don't have to program it, and that's where I made a mistake. And it says on the instructions to go to car settings, and it says factory setting. It's not a reset, just the option to go into the individual components, and then you press the factory setting on the screen there. And this is the key thing. Actually clearly says in the instructions, now enter 1617. 1617. Press confirm. Now this menu here, what you're looking for on the left hand side, don't go into anything else because there's all sorts of things that you can actually change, is you go into CAN, not steering wheel setting, but you go into CAN type set. So select that, and on the top, this is what I had to figure out. It doesn't say this on the instructions, but it's quite fairly self-explanatory anyway. I've gone into all of these options, and the one that I found worked was go into CAN type set. So hit that. Now this screen I'm familiar with because I've seen this on other stereos that I've installed. Starting on the provider isn't the brand of the ASure head unit, the radio. It's the brand of the CAN bus. Identifying now which CAN bus box I have, which is this one, the Lucene, I've now got that highlighted at the top. So if I had one that was, say, the binary type, then different menus come up. But I know it works, so I'm going to go back to Lucene. Now you choose the brand of car, and you scroll until you find, in this case, Benz. There it is. Now you choose the series of car. This is an A-Class, that's already selected. That's the correct period of the year. It's a 2007, so 2004, 2011, and you press all. Now this is the key thing. There's not really anything there to say press save, but if you press the last box, press all, you're going to message that comes up, successfully selected the vehicle. It will do a little reboot. Vehicle type selection has been applied. So there you go. I really hope this is giving you an indication of just how amazing this ASure radio is. A little bit of troubleshooting at the end there with the steering wheel CAN bus, but then you're always going to really get that with, there's so many different variants of cars. So if you have a Mercedes A-Class, at least you now know how to get the steering wheel buttons working. Thank you so much to ASure for allowing me to showcase and do a little demonstration on the install for this Mercedes A-Class. All the information is down below. I'll do my very best to see if we can get some discount links as well. You're more than welcome to put anything in the comments, and I will try my hardest to come back to you and answer all your comments. Thanks so much for watching. See you on YouTube. Bye for now.